Well, hello there, you faithful few, and welcome back to DMS Adventures, where we've got a tarp that we think is pretty sharp. Well, I am admittedly a relative newbie when it comes to tarps, but one thing I know I don't like are the Sil-Nylon variety. We actually have one. This is the Kamuk Coolie UL Ultralight Shelter. I did do a video on this guy a little while back, and the only reason we got it was to have a little bit of extra dry space if we get caught in the rain out in the backcountry. That indeed happened to us one time, and we did have this Sil-Nylon tarp up. And the one thing that I very much disliked about it was just how much water ends up soaking into this material. We've got a trip coming up where I'm pretty much certain that there's going to be rain, so I went out looking for something a little different. Now, I know DCF is a great tarp material, waterproof, super strong, and really lightweight, but also super expensive. Or as backpacker Bob says, super expensive. Well, I came across this other material called Ultra TNT that's very similar to DCF in that it's lightweight and waterproof, but it is about half the price. Well, I went looking online and found that Etowah Gear makes a tarp out of that material, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm just going to show you what you get when you purchase the tarp, and I'm going to show you some stuff I got to try to make it quicker to put up, because one of the issues that I got with tarps is it just seems to take a long time to put them up. So I did a little research on some different knots and some different pieces of hardware that you can get to try to make it a little quicker. And then lastly, I'm gonna put all those things together and put the tarp up for the first time here in the backyard tree. For those that don't know, we always record our first time putting up a tent, and I figured with a new tarp, given that I was trying to do it a certain way, thought I'd record this one too. So with these tarps, you pretty much just get the tarp. Etowah has a bunch of different sizes, I think starting at like 6x8 going all the way up to 10x12 as their largest. Of course, all have different weights, and just a couple of specs here on the one I got the 10x8, and that comes in at 10.2 ounces. So they send it with this fantastic green bag to put it in, and this adds an additional 0.3 ounces to the weight for a total of 10.5. Now, notably, what does not come with the tarp are stakes or guy lines. You gotta research those and get those for yourself. For me, I picked up 6 MSR mini groundhog stakes. These come in at 0.3 ounces a piece, and I think you need at least 4 to put with this, so that adds up to 1.2 ounces of stakes. Then I know there's a lot of different ways to do the ridge line. I decided to try these little buckles. I'm not sure if these will be any good or not, but when I go to put the tarp up, I'll show you how they work. And finally, I wasn't really sure what kind of guy lines to get, so I ended up just getting some basic paracord 3-strand, 176 pound bright green cordage to use for the guy lines. So adding it all together, the tarp and bag at 10.5 ounces, 2 of these buckles at 0.2 ounces, 4 MSR groundhog stakes at 1.2 ounces, then there's about 84 lineal feet of guy line, and that adds 3.5 ounces to the weight for a total of 15.8 ounces. Now, all in, that is a little bit more than my Sil-Nylon Kamuk tarp, but that Kamuk tarp is a little bit smaller and kind of has a funky shape. This 10x8 is straight up rectangle 10x8. Let's go put this thing up for the first time, and then I will take you around and show you some of the features. Now, as I said, you faithful few, I'm a noob when it comes to tarps, so if I'm doing something egregiously wrong here, feel free to correct me. All right, gonna start the timer. And of course, it's super windy, so this is gonna be extra difficult. Now, I do not have good trees in the backyard tree for this sort of thing, so just got to make do with what we got. Oh, there we go. That does it. We'll raise this up here. Okay, so these are not as quick as I was hoping. Once that tension gets on there, it's hard to do anything with it. It's just like anything, you faithful few, there's always a learning curve. Okay, got that. Now for the stakes. It's upside down, you faithful few. Well, I'm going to use that to my advantage. All right, you faithful few, do you hate wind more or rain more? Can't decide. I think I just hate whichever is happening at the moment I'm dealing with it. All right, you faithful few. That was 8 minutes to set that up with a whole lot of problems. So I think maybe with more practice and Rugman's sister maybe helping out on trail, might be able to get that out pretty quick. Okay, let's take a closer look. Okay, so yes, I realize this is upside down. However, it gives me the opportunity to show you the reinforced areas here where the guy lines connect. Here's the actual TNT material. It's a little bit see-through-y. See my hand through there, but not too bad. This is a sage green, supposedly. But as you can see, there are plenty of tie-off points. Just on this 8-foot side, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then running down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, running down the 10-foot side. And then you got 2 additional ones there along the ridge line. So maybe the best idea is to do a continuous ridge line with prusik knots there at those 4 points across the ridge line. That might be a better option. That way you could slide the tarp up and down the ridge line and kind of position it where you want it.
I almost fell.
So for the 4 corner tie out points, I just did a normal double knot type thing here onto this cord. And then for this, I did like a variation on a taut line hitch. So this just slides up and down all the way to loosen it up, and then just to get you some more tension, just slide it right back up. So all 4 corners have that, and I thought that would give me good variation on available lengths. And this is a 12-foot long cord, so it's 6 foot at minimum. So if you got your stake here and you're like, oh man, there's a big root there or something, you can just come up to your taut line, hitch, lengthen that out, and get on past whatever thing is in your way and stake her back out. Okay, so here's the little buckle that I wanted to use for the ridge lines. I thought this would be a quick and easy way to get it tensioned. And so all it does is you got it tied off to this end, and this end is free. You can just wrap this around the tree, and then you need a little bit of a loop, and then you put that through the big hole and then wrap it around the smaller toggle up here, and then you've got tension. So this way you can just pull and you loosen, and then just go the opposite way to tension it up. Okay, and for that to work, you really do need to pull on your tarp, which is that way. Pull on your tarp to get your tension, and then pull this around the tree to tighten it up. So you're kind of just sandwiching this together. So just look at the right side up area here. This should be on the top, but you got 3 locations across the ridge line. 1, 2 in the middle, 3 down there. And then you also have a mid one right there, another mid one over there. So I really love the number of places you can tie off this thing. There's probably lots of different ways you can set this up, and not just a boring old A-frame shape. We got some great stitching along here. Got seam tape running up the seams here. There's their label, and got an 8x10 tarp here. And here's our actual label. If I'd put this thing right side up, I could show it to you better. Let's do it anyway. Man, I can tell it's been a long time since we've done a review on the channel. Hey, any suggestions or comments, I'll take them. I'm willing to learn. Got to get a good setup in case it starts pouring on us when we're out there. Just a nice place to sit underneath, keep dry, maybe get part of the tent underneath it, and just be able to enjoy our time in the backcountry regardless of the weather. Well, such as it was, I think I covered everything that I wanted to on this tarp. If you've got any questions for me about the Etowah Gear Ultra TNT tarp, just drop them down below in the comments and I'll get you an answer as quickly as I can. Hey, I just want to thank y'all so much for watching, and you all have a great day.